Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are every day. People like to welcome y'all to the show. Look, normally I do shows on history and historical figures, and I give you their account, I give you their background, I give you what they stood for, how it shaped black people, and how it shaped America, or from Brazil to the Carib Indians, all over the globe, right? But since this newly incident with George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and Mr. McAtee, who was a barbecue restaurant owner who was shot during a protest because the National Guards and the police department heard some firecrackers, what could have been a possible gun, or someone waved the gun. They turned around and he got caught in the middle of it, in which they had fired the police chief, but it's bigger than that. See, you have, and black people, let's go back. As Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun, right? When the slave who wanted his freedom, who risked his life for his freedom, plotted to leave or actually ran off, there was that slave who went and told the master, so the master can go back and get what the master thought was his property. That same mindset exists today, and it's saddening to see. It's hurtful to see it. You know, we learned how to be Americans from white people, because when we came to this country, the natives that's been in this country or wherever, you've been up under the system of white supremacy since the colonizers arrived out of Europe. You couldn't learn how to read or write English until you were indoctrinated. And then you learn how to adapt from the colonizer. When the colonizer had problems with the Brits, his cry was, give me liberty or give me death. It wasn't, we gonna go up in front of the Brits and we gonna peacefully march because we don't want no problems. That's not the American way. Like Sister Tamika Mallory said, we learned looting and rioting from you. That's in the colonizers' past. And it sickens me to my stomach. But it is what it is. But I'm asking, I'm pleading. The afraid, slave-minded Negroes, get out the way and listen to the youth. I'll be broadcasting throughout this whole ordeal. Whenever I see that narrative starts to change into that old antiquated mindset, that for some reason, I don't know how or who they are or how they manage to always find themselves in front of a microphone and in front of a camera and sprinkle sugar on the people to calm the folks down, give them something to play with. Go out and give a speech similar to the fact of, we don't want to see all this destruction. We don't want to see the chaos that's going on. We want a peaceful protest down the street against something that was unpeaceful. You sound like a moron. You sound like an idiot, I should say. How can you mathematically, scientifically, how can it be possible to address hardcore acts of violence against a race of people, and you counter that with a peaceful protest? I'm confused. If you've been studying history, if you want a bully or an oppressor's foot off your back, you got to at least twist his ankle to the point where he got a limp when he walk. And he'll learn that, okay, I'm not going to put that foot on your back. If he try to, and he don't want to put the other foot on your back, because limping on two bad ankles, that is, that's hard to do. You don't want to do that. That's what I'm saying. Because the ends justify the means. The situation calls for a reaction that's similar to the incident that caused the reaction. But the people can't get up enough steam. They can't because they're concerned by what some are saying, who's trying to water down their energy and their spirit, because they don't know if you're really being sincere, or did a public official pay you to come out in the public and say a little something because you're not used to having anything. So you like your pockets lined a little bit. So you'll keep repeating the same sentiment that somebody gave you to say. And then you go out into the public and you repeat what they want you to repeat. But it's at the detriment of your people. Can somebody please, man, check these milquetoast apologists and tell them, just like the minister said, sit down, get out the way. Let's wait and hear what the minister has to say, what Minister Farrakhan has to say. All you other people, just be quiet. You're making the matter worse. You're actually making it worse, because you're going to get somebody hurt. It's like a freestyle. Or it's like music in the sense when someone's freestyling and the energy hits them, and they're going off from how we say it next time, from the top of the dome, but they going off from deep within their spirit, and they just flowing with the time and the energy, because that's what the time and energy dictates it should do at the time, because the cause was outside forces, but the reaction was a reaction that arrived from frustration, anger, and a fear that there'll never be a day where black folk will be truly free in America. That's a scary thing. And when a person is bagged in that type of corner, they coming out the bag. You get what I'm saying? They coming out. You got black youth who are afraid, like, man, what kind of future do I have? What am I going to do? We getting shot down, and they're afraid. The parents are afraid. The mom is afraid. Their next of kin is afraid for them. And it shouldn't be. So the powder keg exploded. But who created it? Who created the powder keg? It started back when a child was tore out of the mother's womb. A child head smashed in by the butt of a gun or the heel of a boot. A black woman raped. A black man raped. All in those horrific slavery times. Families torn apart and sold. Grown men whipped. Grown men beat. Grown men and women hung from trees. Strange fruit. And then you got your black codes and your Jim Crow and black man, you can't come here, you can't do that, but yet you can build this country, go build that White House for me, go build these houses, build this infrastructure, pay the roads, and when you get through, we'll dash it to the side because we don't need your services anymore. And it's like, okay. Then, hey, look, Jim Bob. You don't have anything to do? You need to make you some money, you need a job? You know what? A police officer would be a great job for you. Oh yeah, well, you know, I'm a racist. I don't like any other race other than white. So if they do a background check, they might discover that, oh, don't worry about it, we're not going to do a background check. Matter of fact, you're exactly the type we're looking for. When can you start? Well, I start now. Here go your gun. Here go your badge. Get out there and do what you do. So, bam. Tamir Rice gets shot. Eric Garner gets in the chokehold. Trayvon Martin. You know, Breonna Taylor. Sandra Bland. Philando Castile. Maud Arbery. I mean, just come on. Amadou Diallo. I mean, just come on. And so, after George Floyd, it's like, this is something that's been ruined before George Floyd. But the image of that white man on that black man's neck and George Floyd calling out for his mother that had passed 2 years ago. The force that set off was so powerful that people who get in front of microphones really don't understand the dynamic of the force that was created by over 400 years of racism. You know, it's like this. Black people always been great people, innovators. I mean, you go back in time and research, do your history, you know, different parts from Morocco, Spain, Portugal, Brazil, you know, to the Americas, and Africa, Ireland. Go back and do your research, right? And black folks saying, look, okay, I tell you what. I'm finna search for your humanity. Because the words of Dr. Martin Luther King was being played out before Dr. King was born. You had black people who could have overthrown the plantation. You had more slaves than you had masters. But blacks was like, okay, well, maybe if I pick this cotton, if I work in agriculture, I tend to these cattle and the sheep and his pigs and whatnot. Maybe if he see how good a work that I'm doing and the extent of my knowledge towards this subject, then maybe they let up and see us as equals. Okay, didn't happen. Okay, well, look. Something happened. White man wanted to take out his whip and whip a slave. Slave didn't revolt. Okay, we'll let you. Okay, you beat my back, you know, and we're not united. There's no way he can run. He takes the whipping. Still, he didn't sneak in the master's bedroom at night and eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth and kill him. He took it. All he wanted was just a better time and a better way for his lineage, for his future generations. So, he took it. Time progressed. Okay, you're going to stick the dogs and water hoses on us. Okay, that's fine. Black man took it in hopes that one day these racists will see the error of their ways and that'll be the end of it. Okay. Time move on. More police killings, more police brutality, more harassment. Then it reached George Floyd. But by that time, the steam had already been building up. I mean, even the brother in Dallas who was shot on his couch eating ice cream, the black woman in Fort Worth who the cops came in, killed her in her home. It was just boiling over, and then it just exploded. But once it's exploded, it seems as though some officials, like they always keep a good black person in their pocket that they throw out there to the public to do their bidding. But this time around, the public, like, we've been there, we seen that story, you play it out, get out the way. We finna make sure that our future generation have a place that they can feel secure about. That they don't have to be worried about or make the statement like the 12-year-old young man said, I don't want to die. I just want to live. They shouldn't be saying things like that. It's up to the adults to set this thing right. Now the question is, if the concern could be, is the protest and everything that's going on, is that what an adult should do? Should adults act and carry themselves in a better manner? Well, the police officers are adults, and should they carry themselves in a better manner? Do they know how to be adults and have care and concern for the citizens that they swore to serve and protect? If you don't have respect for the citizen, then don't hang the badge up. Don't be a cop. Well, we'll see, and only time will tell. Verbal Pick Radio, we're out.